What, do you want to be poor? How much of me do you want?
What exactly does that mean? At what threshold are you consider that?
All of these people, they came to me.
Your entire history of selling real estate has always been in a seller's market.
Indeed. What is my purpose now? Prepare to be working from when you are awake to when you are asleep.
Some people are more real estate influencers more than actual agents.
What did you do that was real estate related today? That goes a long way.
There's only one Grace.
Well, every day's a gift.
All right, so
I have to give you a little bit of credit for this.
Yeah, we can overdub it later. Just saying.
I haven't had any crazy stories about. Oh wait, no, I do. I got robbed at gunpoint, mugged.
Checking for me, but I ain't checking for them. No.
it's sleazy real estate guys.
Newsflash.
But
you.
All right, so another episode of the EP podcast here. We have the one and only Grace Casella. Grace, how are you doing?
Hold your applause. I'm doing really good, really good. I mean, rainy, dreary day, but every day's a gift, right?
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Grace Casella is a top performing real estate agent that I recently came across not too long ago, probably a couple months ago. She was introduced to me. We grabbed lunch along with Arthur. Arthur, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. And then, it was an easy connection. It was an easy connection. The thing I like about Grace is you meet Grace, there's nothing hiding. It's just like, boom, you get Grace right off the jump, which makes breaking the ice so much easier. So Grace, we're so happy to have you on. Thank you for making the time. I know you're usually in bed by 8 o'clock, so we're sorry for that, but we're glad and thank you for making the time for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to go dive into essentially all of Grace. This is the EP podcast, but this is a Grace episode. We're going to dive anywhere from, where you were born all the way into your business now, sales and all that kind of stuff. You're in a leadership position, so I want to hear, the ins and out of that and then kind of see what's next for you.
All right.
Cool.
Let's get it.
All right. And before we do that, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on that notification bell for many, many more episodes to come. Also, check out our merch over at eppodcast.us. We have a lot to offer on there, including the mug that she's pointing at. Bottles, you name it, polos. He even has a quarter zip. That's not available anymore, but there's plenty of other options. He has a unique item. All right, let's get to it. So, Grace, tell me, where are you from? Where are you born? Where were you from?
Born in Wilmington, Delaware. Lived in Newark, Delaware, literally my whole life. I purchased the home across the street from my childhood home. So, literally lived on the whole same street my whole life.
So, when we were having lunch, you had shared that with me. But the thing is, I've met more people that can't wait to get out of Delaware that are from Delaware. But you straight up told me, uncensored, I'm going to say here, you straight up told me, it's like, no, I fuck with Delaware. I fuck with Delaware. Literally 2 minutes into me first meeting Grace. No, I fuck with Delaware. So tell me, why are you different from those people? Why is it?
It is just so chill here. There's, oh my God, fourth lowest property taxes in the country. No sales tax. You're close to all the major cities like Baltimore, Philly, Washington, D.C., New York. Let's get crazy. Guess what? There's beaches. I don't know, dude. It's everything that you want. Oh my God, no natural disasters. Worst case scenario, you get a hurricane every now and then. I'm not worried. I've never seen a tornado. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
A wildfire? Yeah, right. Not Delaware, baby.
True.
I'm saying.
True. Shout out Florida. Shout out California. How do you feel about that?
We get an earthquake once every 50 years or so.
Yeah.
That we all remember and talk about.
It's crazy when earthquakes happen. What was the one that happened last year? I think it was middle of the year, late into the year. I had Jersey. Yeah, I think it was Jersey. And then I felt it a little bit. Here's the thing. I'm always late on it. It's how I always find out is my parents. And I was like, hey, did you feel that earthquake? Are you okay? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I go on social media and it's all over the place. And then people start going nuts with conspiracies and everything. Not to go into religion too much. Some people start pulling Bible verses. Oh, and this verse there, he said this, this is new. This is nothing new.
We're done for.
Yeah.
So,
Arthur, it's a lot of people she messes with that. She likes Delaware, but a lot of people that I've met don't. You're one that you started your life. You're born here. You know, you were born in. Were you born in Nyack?
New York.
Yeah, Nyack, New York. And but like some people are just looking to get out of Delaware. What do you think that is?
Everyone's always looking to get away from where they grew up. I mean,
Yeah.
the majority of people want to get out, go someplace else, explore, be a different environment than the place they grew up. They just want to be out on their own. They want the independence.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's still a big hometown connection with Delaware. I mean, how many people do you meet that graduated from Sally's?
Well, if you had asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have told you you're the only one. But I've met more people that I even connect with. Like, I don't even know too many people at this point, which I love because everybody from Sally has been great so far.
And then you're surprised when somebody says, "Oh, I graduated from Sally's." Like,
And I'm like, oh my. There's literally, I kid you not. There was probably like last winter. There was 4 recordings in a row where we didn't even know we happened to just have 4 people in a row from Sally's. So you just see me looking at Arthur. I'm like, dude, seriously, what's going on here? Like, how does this keep happening? But no, Sally's is a great school. Newark. So you where did you go to high school in Newark?
Newark High School.
Newark High School. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Is that the one with the tennis court right at there?
Maybe. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I used to play tennis there from time to time.
Really?
I was
relate.
terrible at it.
Unrelatable.
I was terrible at it.
Pickleball?
Oh, that's like the new thing.
Oh my God.
That's the new
it's
thing.
so fun. It's
Yeah.
so fun. Have you played?
have not.
Yeah, it's
Get into it. Let's do it. I'll do it. Let's go.
there you
Me
go.
and you, pickleball. Anytime.
I'll
anywhere.
record it. We'll record it.
You're not invited.
Well, okay,
You're
never
talking
mind.
smack.
She'll record it. She'll record it. Here, I think I saw somewhere last year because last year was when pickleball blew up, right?
Yeah. Well,
Or
it's
2
been
years
the
ago.
last like 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw some article, I think it was like a year or 2 ago, that said that pickleball had the most accidents in comparison to any other sport at one point. Can you just look that up real quick? See if that's something that happened. I swear I saw. I'm like, no freaking way. How is that even possible? Pickleball most
Demographics
accidents.
it appeals to
Younger.
Elders.
Really?
elders, yeah,
Indeed. Yes.
because
I've
there's
played
not as
with-
much running, so there's all of a sudden
It's like sidestepping.
people that kind of gave up sports are like, oh, I could do
This
this.
is a sport I can play now.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes.
Yeah, I'm 70, 80.
write
Let me
it
try
this
this
way.
to try, see what happens.
Dude,
Pickleball
I've
has most accidents.
I've
right
been
now.
wrecked by like 85-year-olds. Okay,
Just to-
so listen, they can play. I
Okay,
luckily haven't.
So
heard yet.
you don't have to click on it, but you see that first headline, NBC News. Don't click on it. It says pickleball related injuries are on the rise. Doctors say. It says bone structure related to pickleball has increased 200%. Is that say bone fractures? I said structures.
Jesus.
Bone fractures related to pickleball have increased 200% over the last 20 years. I didn't even know it was around that long, and that was February of last year. That's
My-
crazy.
my
How
aunt
different is
broke-
it? How?
She like messed her shoulder.
Really?
Up. Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. There you go.
But it said over 20 years.
Over 20 years,
increased
200%.
200%.
Yeah.
So that's not really saying much if you're going to go over 20 years.
Yeah. How
Okay.
much has real estate increased over the last
Real estate related injuries.
20 years? No. not really.
Fractures, bone fractures in relation to real estate. So,
Oh.
tell me about your days in Newark High School. What person were you in Newark High School? Were you like the to yourself like person? Were you just like the out there, kind of like you are now? You know, some people grow into the person they are. So, okay, so you were very quiet, is
Shy,
what I'm
quiet.
guessing. Very
Shut
shy
up.
in the corner, in the library.
Oh
You know,
yeah, I'm an avid reader.
Tell me about your
No.
high school days. What were your high school days like?
You know, I mean, I was like the kid that was like friends with everybody. Like I wasn't like in any one specific clique. Like I was just kind of like hop around all the cliques and
Yeah.
kind of be friends with everybody. And you know, I didn't play sports.
Mhm.
I was more of a scholar.
Okay.
I'll say, you know,
Okay.
good GPA, like, you know, got the A's
Yeah.
in AP classes. I
Okay.
was kind of doing that, but like you couldn't tell.
Mhm.
A lot of people, in fact, thought I was pretty dumb. But
Really?
I'm okay with that because,
Hey, fool 'em.
because then when the physics test would come around and I'd be the only one getting 100, they'd be like,
Don't tell me you were the person who first turning your test. You were the first person to get done.
physics, chemistry,
I hate that.
anything math, dude.
See,
Oof.
I'd be the last one. I'd be the last one. You know what's the worst about being the last one is you constantly see everybody turning their test and the pressure just builds up and it builds up and it's just terrible.
No.
I was a terrible test taker. Were you a great test taker?
Great test
See,
taker.
I
Fantastic
couldn't.
test
Even if I studied my ass off, the moment I sat down, boom, blank. And immediately start profusely sweating. It's bad. What kind of test taker were you?
It really depended upon the test.
Okay.
Some tests were easier to take for me than others. Some of the religion ones were difficult when they kind of asked you just to please recite things or be able to.
Sally's, yeah.
go-
I was wondering
I was
religion
like,
class.
religion class.
I don't remember
didn't
religion
go
class.
to
I must have
religion
skipped
class.
it. I remember Sally's. Yeah,
I
yeah,
must have skipped it.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I was sick that day.
Oh no.
Or that season. Okay. So, but shit, I can't relate. Unrelatable to
Dude.
me, you know.
I
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually got a perfect attendance award
What?
in high school. I went to every single day
Dang.
of high school.
There you go.
So I mean, I liked school.
There you go.
personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Me in high school, just wasn't there at all. I was just showing up. I went to Dickinson. You know, it's like right neck and neck with Sally's. Neck and neck with Sally's.
Oh,
You know,
is it?
neck and
Yeah,
neck
yeah,
and
yeah.
Sally's. I mean, we would get things like bomb threats during the SATs. Come on, what else? What else can you ask for?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Relatable.
There you go. So, all right. So you got along socially well with people in high school. You were really good with academics and everything, which typically you find is one or the other, and rarely you have one that balances all three. So there you go. There's that with that. Tell me about what did life look like for you after high school? What did you pursue any further education? What did you do?
Went right into college,
Mhm.
University of Delaware.
Okay.
You know, I commuted from home because I
Mhm.
live literally
Right.
10 minutes from there,
Mhm.
and it was just,
What did
life
you go
is
for?
normal. Went for finance.
Okay.
Yeah, because the plan was to help my dad further his business. He was a business owner like my whole life growing up. So, I was like, wanted to be an entrepreneur and help him with that.
Mm.
So, got the finance degree, and
Yeah.
that was kind of the idea.
So what if you don't mind me asking, what business is your dad in?
So he had it was mostly a cleaning company,
Mm-hmm.
but it would also be like landscaping,
Uh-huh.
contracting on the side.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
basically he was like a jack
Did
of
it
all
all.
trades. Like, what do you need? Like commercial property, residential property. Like he was all over. It
Cool,
was
cool.
awesome.
And here's the thing. I find that's kind of what ends up happening. People that grow up in almost like an entrepreneurial household. It's like the kids. I think that it's one of two things, right? They either grow up to hate it, or they grow up to mirror it to some extent.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because well, I don't know if it's in movies at least that I've seen where it's like, no, I hate my dad. I don't want to be around him at all. You see it a lot in movies. I don't know if it's like that in real life too. But Arthur, what are your thoughts on that? Is it where they grow up in entrepreneurial households? Do you think it helps?
Well, I
What are
think
your
it
thoughts?
depends upon how much is shared at home
Mm-hmm.
and the tips you get and the advice and pros and cons to working a 9-to-5 job and having a boss or running a business yourself. And that, and some people see it and go, look, you don't get off on evenings or weekends, or it's hard for holidays, so why
Yeah.
would I want to do that? This idea of going to work for somebody else
Yeah.
and be able to have days off sounds like a much better deal than what you did. And
Yeah.
then others like, well,
Yeah.
it's
Did you ever help out your dad with his business?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what kind of things would you take on?
I was his secretary.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
take some calls, and I was helping him organize some of the paperwork, and I just remember spending hours trying to organize receipts by date, and the stack from Lowe's and Home Depot alone was incredible.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. So you did UD. Were you the same way UD as you were in New York? Like just
Yes.
academically, everything was
Very
just
good grades.
Okay.
In fact, after the first semester, I didn't buy any of the books
mm-hmm.
that they required. I was like, first of all, those were
Now you're
expensive.
just showing off.
And then
Now you're just showing off.
But because I went to all the classes,
Uh-huh.
I didn't need
I
the
see.
books. You know what I'm saying?
What about assignments that will refer the
I
books?
swear, I just figured it out. I don't know what to tell you. I got great
And
grades.
ChatGPT wasn't around that time.
No.
Okay.
Because we're so old, right?
No, but
Jeez.
No, I
Google
mean-
was.
Actually, no. ChatGPT has been around since I think 2012, 2014. It just
Really?
it just didn't really take off until recently, probably 3 years ago now.
I used it for the first time 6 months ago.
Yeah, we'll dive into the tools that you use for the business too. Okay, so tell me, your household. Are you an only child?
No.
Okay.
Older sister, younger brother, middle child.
What's that like?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm an only child. Tell me, please.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, you can see the
So-
personality.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
You're competing all the time, right?
What are you competing with?
Oldest is
your-
the favorite, the youngest is the baby, so
And then the middle
middle's
guy.
just what
I'm
about
just
her?
she just exists.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
mean, I became my dad's favorite over time because my sister moved away, so that was sick.
Okay.
There was a couple of years there I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
best case scenario.
Okay. Okay.
But,
You outlasted the competition.
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
dude,
There you
she
go.
crumbled. She crumbled under the pressure. Couldn't take it. I
Okay.
stuck in.
Yeah. So
Got the glory.
tell me about what the household dynamic was like. You said that your dad had the entrepreneurial thing going on. You were the middle child. Tell me what kind of values were spread around the house. Like what those that kind of angle from your household. Was there
Dude.
anything specifically you grew up with that you stuck with you or something like that?
Bro, it depends how in depth you want to get right now, but it was pretty chaotic.
Mm.
Because my dad was an entrepreneur, he was working a lot, but when he was there, it was like just like great values, like treat other people how you want to be treated, like he found humor in everything that was bad, and like he was able to, like, my coping mechanism is just like humor, like I just laugh everything off, and like other people are like, dude, are you good? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, things are fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was great in that way. My older sister, she took care of us for the most part. My mom, for sure, nice lady,
Okay.
but not great
Yeah.
mentally.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I wonder what your brother stands on with, because he was the younger one, right? He's the younger one, right?
He and I were very close.
Okay.
So we're within 17 months.
Okay.
And my older sister's 5 years older than me.
Okay.
So, she was kind of like a parental figure when we were kids.
Yeah.
Now her and I are so close.
There you go.
And me and my brother,
Yeah.
I love him to death, but he lives in California, and we're just at completely different walks of life.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's wild.
Was he impacted by the fires at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
He's up north.
Okay.
Yeah, they both are. My sister and my brother.
Oh, they're both in
both
California.
live in California.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So you took over the Delaware market.
I did. That's me.
There you go.
They got their thing. She's a police officer and a firefighter in California.
Nice.
She's an absolute badass.
There you go.
I'm still competing with her. I'm like, how many push-ups did you do today?
Oh, snap. Okay. Shout out sister. Shout out sister.
No, she's awesome. My brother is we're all really charismatic because both of our parents, super charismatic. My mom, she was the most popular person in high school and homecoming queen and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad was a lady killer, and he's entrepreneur, just smooth talker, kind of little con man.
God, I mean, Grace is a ball of energy, but I can't imagine having dinner with the whole family.
Dude.
Imagine that.
Dude.
Oh, my God.
You'd come back with some stories. That's all I had to say.
I love it. So earlier we were talking about how there's people that just want to leave Delaware. Was that what happened with your brother and sister?
My sister, yes.
Okay.
I mean, she had a lot of responsibility, thrown on her shoulders at a pretty young age.
Yeah.
So she just wanted to get away.
Yeah.
Whereas my brother, I shipped him out there. I was like, he's your problem now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So we moved beyond college, and I want to know what was going on between college. I know you're saying you were helping your dad out with the business, but I want to know the story between college. Helping out your dad's business and then going to real estate. Was that a big gap, or was that it happened kind of overnight?
Dude, I don't know how sad we're supposed to get right now, but
it's up to you. It's up to you. This is your episode.
Oh man. All right. So my dad was hugely so supportive of anything I wanted to do, and I just wanted to be like him. I was like, oh dude, you're a badass. I want to do whatever it is you're doing. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to be client facing just like you. Right. So, that was the idea. That's why I took over. Well, I was becoming into the position to take over his business. Right. But I wasn't there yet. I didn't finish college, and he didn't tell me everything I needed to know yet. And then when I was 20, he passed away.
I'm so sorry.
So it was oof.
Yeah.
Pivoting moment in my life. I was like, well, now what? It was, I do not know what I'm doing, because he was like, we were so close. I would come home from school, and he would be like, I don't care what he was doing. If he was on the toilet, I would sit on the floor, and I would tell him about my day.
Wow.
We were that close.
That's close.
He would wake me up every morning. He would rub my hand, and he'd be like, good morning, beauty.
Aww.
You're going to do great things today. We were dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he died, I was like, looks like I shouldn't even be around anymore. I was like, what is my purpose now? Because my thing was him. I wanted to make him proud. I wanted to work with him. I wanted to be what he was. Right. So when he died, no.
Yeah.
I basically didn't participate in life for several months. And then luckily it was like near the end of the year for college, like for my second year.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was super understanding, and I was able to like put off taking the final exams and stuff. So I was able to continue in college, and I had to start paying for it for myself, because he was paying for it before. I was like financially, he was my full support, right? Because my mom, like she's in the hospital like forever, so we don't talk about that. But that's where she's at. And then my sister was in California, and then it was just me and my brother and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So, when he passed, it was like financially had nothing going for me. I was a lifeguard at the YMCA. I was making $10 an hour part time.
The one in Kirkwood.
Yep, right
Yeah,
in
I used
Kirkwood,
to go to that
Western
one.
YMCA,
Yep,
baby.
yep.
I worked there for 5 years.
I went there, but I didn't utilize the pool because I'm a terrible swimmer.
Dude, we could have met sooner.
There you go.
I'm a great swimmer. I
There
have
you
a
go.
pool now.
You probably would have had to save me in there drowning. Okay.
I've saved 4 lives.
Have
I don't
you?
know.
There
yeah.
you go.
Like on another note, I've saved 4 people.
Okay.
So that's crazy.
So when your father passed, was this before your brother and sister moved out to Cali, or?
So my sister moved out there already. She was
Okay.
gone.
Uh-huh.
And then he passed, and then my brother was still with me. But basically I lived in my childhood home. There was a mortgage on it. Everybody was like, "All right, you're gonna have to let that foreclose because you obviously can't afford it. Like you can come live with me." Like my aunt offered me, my friends offered me. Like everybody was like, "Just give it up."
Yeah.
But my dad had made half of the improvements on the house, and he actually built bedrooms for us, and like I just had all my memories with him
Right.
there, so I like physically couldn't allow myself to let it go. And I'm so glad I didn't, because like that decision has pretty much reflected my life since then,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm not letting this house go. I don't care what happens. Like, I'm gonna live here. I'm gonna use all my savings to pay the mortgage if I have to. And luckily, I had a friend from high school who was like, "Hey, me and my older brother, who has a real job, we can move in, and we can help you pay your mortgage." Best case scenario. So I'm 20 years old. I'm in college, starting to pay bills of my own. Got my college bills, got my mortgage now, and luckily got roommates.
Yeah.
So
that's how you got into real estate.
there you go. There you go.
You're house hacking now.
House
Yeah,
hacking from the
okay.
beginning.
Wow. Okay. So that happened, and what did life look like right after that? Because I feel like when you have a lot of financial like struggles happen, you're dealing with a lot at once here. What's the word here when people pass? Grieving. Is that what it is? Grieving. Yeah.
It
Grieving.
was grieving.
Sorry, English second language. So sometimes these words
I
come out of my
got you.
vocab.
Yeah.
What's it called? You're grieving. Then you have the pressure from the financial obligations. But then the people come into your house. So what was going on right after that?
Basically I like learned how to apply for all sorts of benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get like food stamps and like Medicaid, and like that all was like super helpful like while I needed it. So that was really good. I was able to make that work, and then they were covering the mortgage. I just had to pay the utilities, so I was able to handle that, and I just made it work. I took out student loans, like everybody does, which I wasn't used to because my dad was like paying for it in full before. And my sister was helping too.
Yeah.
So she stepped in a lot. She's older than me, so she's a real one. She had a real job. She was a cop, so
There you go.
yeah, she really helped me out. My friends helped me out, and we just made it work. And then I just started taking money more seriously. Like the boyfriend I had at the time, he wasn't like ready to level up and have to be an adult yet. So I was like,
well, it's 20.
adios.
Here's the thing: you had life happen to you. Those things force you to grow up. Like,
yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
Okay. Wow. So what was? Okay. So you said he wasn't ready to level up. What exactly do you mean?
I was just like, yeah, like we gotta start like saving, paying bills, like taking life seriously, like not like, just messing around, doing whatever, like being kids. Cause like literally before then, my dad paid for everything. Like I just had my job for like fun money, because as I was leaving the house every day, he'd be like, "Hey, you need gas money or anything?" Like I wanted for nothing. I was spoiled. He's an entrepreneur, so things were good. We would go out to dinner. Like, oh, life was lavish.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oof, all bad, all at once. And like, he was still married to my mom at the time, and she's a ward of the state. So when he passed, and he didn't have a will, unfortunately. You know, he was only 50. Thought he was invincible like the rest of us do, right? Get a will. Get a will. Okay. Because all of it went to her, and because she's a ward of the state, all of it went to the state, right? So like anything that he had, and I was the executor of the estate, right? So I had to liquidate everything my dad built, and pay it to the state. So that
Did somebody
sucked.
assist you with that?
An estate attorney. It was me and an estate attorney.
I'm under the impression that if somebody dies without a will and they're married, their spouse only gets half of what they have, and the kids get the other half.
Oof. Well, maybe my estate attorney did me dirty. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it's everyone just assumes that it all goes to the surviving spouse, but you can.
Is that a law that gets updated over time or something like that?
We have to do some research and see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
stands.
now I want to research because
Yeah.
now I'm mad. Like,
Like-
no, like everything went to her and it all went to the state.
Yeah.
So it was like we were just
Hmm.
like, well, nothing, no sport.
Yeah. So you had to lock in, for lack of a better terms.
I locked in.
You had to lock in.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you were working on all that. Tell me, at what point did you end up? You ended up in real estate through house hacking, but as a career.
Basically, I mean, when I graduated, I was like, okay, what now? And I went to some job fairs and stuff and found like an internship to become a financial advisor. And that seemed, you know, client facing, entrepreneurial. You got to go out, get your own clients. And I was like, yeah, that's great. I'll do that. So I got all the certifications to do that, like Series 7, Series 66, SIE, Life and Health. So yeah, I know a lot about like
Yeah.
all that stuff in the stock market and,
Yeah.
you know, puts and calls and,
Okay.
you know, retirement vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for whatever reason. But then I found myself like using my dad's story too much, you know, like telling people, hey, like you should plan for your death, essentially, like get life insurance, get a will, like all of those things. And I almost felt like I was talking bad about him. And that is not what I want, you know? So I really hated that. And then also there was kind of like a dress code. And I couldn't really fall in line with that.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm not pantsuit material.
Okay. So how long did you do that for?
I was in the internship for a good bit, well, a year and a half, and then I got like the full-time offer, got all the tests, took all the tests, and then I was an assistant to a wealth manager at the time. His name was Nick. He was really cool. And then I was probably full-time a financial advisor for like a couple of months before I was like, oof.
Yeah.
this ain't
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So then, what did you stumble into like a real estate opportunity after that?
No. So literally a good friend of mine, his name is Mr. Steve, or at least that's how I refer to him. He owned the house diagonal from me. I used to swim in his pool all the time, and like we're tight. I've known him for like 20 something years. And he was just like, well, I mean, you could sell ice cubes to an Eskimo. I know you don't like this financial advising thing. And I tried my hand at like JP Morgan and BlackRock, and I was there for very short stints.
Okay.
Because I can't like sit in front of a computer for
Yeah.
like 8 hours straight. There's no shot of that. I don't know if you can tell. Got a lot of
Oh my
energy.
God! You imagine? Imagine you being an accountant.
Dude,
Oh my
no,
God.
it was not good.
Yeah.
So basically, I did not last long there. And then he was just like, dude, why don't you just like sell houses? And I was like, okay, how do I do it? And he was like, well, you gotta pay for these classes and do all this. And I was like, bro, I can't afford that. I'm like, dude, you kidding me? He's like, I got you. So Mr. Steve stepped in, my neighbor for years, stepped in, helped me pay for my real estate class and like got me started. And literally I was like, this is pretty cool. This is what I'm gonna do like full time. But, you know, bills and stuff. So I was a waitress for a little bit, like the first couple of months that after I got my real estate license, I was waitressing, I was a realtor, and I was like, I think my pride got in the way, you know, because I got a lot of different offers to like be on teams, and I interviewed for different teams, And it seemed like, yeah, like this is the way you start as a real estate agent, like on a team. Like that's how you learn.
Right.
But like I was like, oh, my dad's an entrepreneur and he started all his businesses all by himself. So I'm gonna be like him and I'm just gonna do it by myself. So I was a solo agent like from the jump. And I just took a lot of advantage of Keller Williams's like training programs, and I would go to all the classes and like just learn that way.
And that's who you're with now?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
awkward.
It's a touch in there. Okay.
Yeah. I was with them for my first full like 3 years.
Okay.
And I mean, they got me to where I am today. Love Keller Williams. Nothing bad to say about them. Yeah. I just had a good opportunity. And
Yeah. So how long have you been in the business for now?
going on 4 years. Started in September of 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 years. So in 4 years you became, a top selling real estate agent. How does that happen? Okay, first tell me, what exactly does that mean? At what threshold are you consider that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, like, if you sold over 45 houses in 2024, then you're in the top 0.14% of real estate agents, like, in the nation or something, right?
Okay.
And that's just a statistic that I can give you.
So, yeah, okay.
And I sold 50 houses in 2024.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in that. I'm in that.
Do you remember what Shane said? How many did he sell? You guys are like right around the same
66.
part.
66.
She remembers it. Oh,
Nah,
man.
that's my boy.
A
That's
little
my
healthy
boy.
competition there?
Yeah,
Is that what I
I
said?
mean, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
for
okay,
Sure.
so- Now, here's the thing. I'm completely unfamiliar with that territory. Like, I don't know how one goes for. I don't know. What's the average? What does the average agent sell a year? At least in Delaware.
3 houses a year.
3 houses.
Yeah.
3 houses in Delaware.
Yeah.
Let's look that up. I believe your word, but just for the sake of pulling something up.
This is the last time I looked.
It's how many houses on average do Delaware real estate
But
agents
is that
sell?
because there's so many people that say they're a realtor and they're not actively?
There's a lot of part-time. Let's
A lot of outliers.
So
that
they
work
bring
for
us they bring the average down.
So
I'd
let's
say.
see here. Well, yeah, we weren't far off. On average, according to the Delaware realtor sells about 6 houses per year.
Dang, in Delaware. Okay.
This estimate is based on National Association of Realtors data showing that realtors complete a median of 10 residential transaction size annually. Okay.
Signs, yeah.
Okay, so 6, but you're selling 50.
Yeah.
You're selling 50. How do you go from 6 to 50? Well, what makes you so different from everybody else? Is it the personality?
I mean, I guess so.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because like
Okay.
I'm not like paying for leads or
Mm-hmm.
advertising or anything. I'm too cheap.
Yeah.
Basically, like I just won't pay for that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So people ask me all the time. They're like, "How do you get all your clients?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm obnoxious for one. That goes a long way.
Mhm.
Like the other day, I was at Red Lobster talking with a past client. Maybe client relations has a little something to do with it. I value my clients so much, and I think they know that. Like I have like client appreciation events, and I love them. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little deep for me. But so there's that. But I was there with a past client at Red Lobster, and we were just chatting about like real estate, about life, whatever. And then literally the people sitting behind us got up, came over to me, and they were like, "Hey, we hear how passionate you are about real estate. Like, will you sell our house for us?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll sell your house for you."
Okay.
So I mean, like that, and just like little examples like that all the time just happen. And I mean, social media, right? So I didn't have social media since 8th grade, right? Like I got like a Facebook in 8th grade, and I was like, "Oh, that's." You know, I friended all my middle school and high school friends or whatever. And then I got off there like completely. I was not into it. Not into it at all. I hated it. And I would like talk smack in high school. I'd be like, you're on social media. I was one of those.
Arthur's huge on social media, by the way. Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Discord, Snapchat.
There you go.
He might even still have his MySpace.
Hey.
You know? Arthur's not on social media at all. I actually force Arthur to be on social media more than he ever has been. So
it's not my favorite thing, that's for sure. But I'll
Okay.
tell you what. Okay, it will get you business. If thank God I had that like brief period of social media in middle school, because those are the people I'm helping buy houses now. So I like logged back into my Facebook when I became a financial advisor, actually, because they were like, oh, social media, a big thing, you know? So I got into there then, and then that's when it kind of started back up and started friending more people.
Yeah.
And, you know, now like that's probably one of my primary sources is just posting on social media and reminding people that I exist and that I have like that I'm a real estate agent and that I give a shit.
Yeah,
Like, I give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing too. You say give a shit. I've come across a lot of a good amount of real estate agents that try to look like they give a shit. I'm not saying I'm not you at all. But it's like you could just tell they're just trying to close a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is how are you able to pick apart the two?
I mean, I'll walk into houses and start picking them apart before the client even does. You know, I'm walking in, I'm like, ugh, dude, that's a structural crack. We don't want that. The window's original. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Should we leave?
Yeah.
Like before they're saying anything negative about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because if I know that there's something better in their price point, I'm never gonna push them towards something that like if they could do better, I'm gonna try to help them do the best that they possibly can in an affordable way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I like to find them deals.
Are your
That's-
grandparents still looking to leave their beach house?
It changes every other week.
Well, for when the week hits, have them hit her up. You know? Because I remember, wasn't it when we were having that one dinner? I think they were telling me that they were looking for something with a attached garage, and then the realtor kept showing them homes without a garage. Period. So I'm like, what the hell is this? You're not one of those.
No.
You're not one of
If
those.
they give me their musts, then I stick to those musts. There's some scenarios, okay, where if they can't afford their musts, then we talk about it, you know, and if they don't want to move forward, they don't want to move forward. I'm never going to force somebody to buy or, like, really try to talk somebody into buying a home that they don't want, you know? Like, they have to see it as an investment, understand that some of the things that they may want might not be attainable yet, but we're going to work our way up to that. That's, like, at best, the most convincing I'll do. You know, like I'll just be like, it is an investment, you know, especially for first-time home buyers. I'm like, it's your first one. The average American buys 11 houses in their lifetime. You know, just like...
That's more than I would have ever thought. 11 is a lot.
Maybe Google it, because now I'm starting to question my stats. Like I thought...
Well, I've also heard the stat that people move on average like every 3 years, right? Is that what I heard? But that's different from like buying and selling, I imagine.
Well, renting.
Let's see how many on average. Well, so you said on average, like
the average American buys 11 houses a year.
Let's put that into a question.
Point,
yeah,
I saw that somewhere.
Not 11 a year; it'd be 11 in their lifetime.
11 in their lifetime.
I say, damn. What are you in Greenville? I mean, what are you selling in Greenville?
I'm trying to sell 11 houses.
So on average, Americans tend to buy between 3 and 5 houses in their lifetime. Okay, that's what okay. This number can vary based on factors like job relocations, family growth, and financial goals. Okay, so
where am I getting my stats?
It probably was higher in the past. I think it's come down some because you don't have to move for every job. You can do things remote. Some jobs you can just fly into for once a week.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think this is what you were saying though. Click on show more. 3 to 5 homes. Many people start with a smaller, more affordable starter home and then upgrade as their needs and finances change. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
It's also changed a bit. Like the whole philosophy that, you know, in the 50s, 60s, you bought your house. So if your job changed, you'd sell that house and buy another house. And you kept buying a house every time you moved. Now people can change jobs in different areas that they would typically have had to move to, but sometimes that's being offered as, we really just need you to come in the office once a week. So if you're okay with, you know, flying out and staying in a hotel and then working remote for the other 3 weeks,
commuting long,
then
that is more popular now.
That's happening more. And
definitely.
There's a lot more with super commuters where people are
I've heard of that. That's a newer term, no?
2 hours away with the understanding that they are not coming to the office every day. So as long as they're putting in whatever the requirement is, 1 day a week, 2 days a week, people are taking these jobs and not uprooting because it can be a pain to pack everything up.
I started hearing the super commuters term once people started being forced back into the office more. because people were getting into jobs that were nowhere near them, or
Well, it's
like
because people started
yeah.
buying houses where they wanted to be. Like, if I'm not being required to go into work, why am I going to stick around this area? I only live here because of work.
Yeah.
If I'm not going into work, I can do my job someplace I want to be.
Yeah,
you
so
go.
Arthur, like then this is a conversation you and I have often about the different kinds of agents.
Mhm.
And I got lucky when the first time I got into real estate because I had Arthur with me, so he was always like by my side, essentially holding my hand the entire time. And he introduced me to this guy Sean Moran, and I never felt like anything Celsi, but he was a vet. He's a vet now at this point in the game. So it's like so I always like that about him, but sometimes social media skews my perspective on agents. But what is it about Sean that makes him like so easy to get along with?
He'll flat out tell you, I don't care if you buy a house or not. I'll show you one if you want to see it. And if you want to put an offer in, we'll put an offer in. But I'm not going to pressure you.
Yeah.
You have to decide. A lot of times he'll show you something. He'll have it in his mind like, this is perfect for you. You should put an offer in. He'll like, go home and think about it and decide what you want to do. If you want to put an offer in, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't, let me know and we'll go look for another one.
Yep.
It's like, it's not.
You have that same kind of scope on it?
I do a lot of that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I hear
for
you.
Sure. For
Okay,
sure.
so now going into specifically what I had just mentioned, the social media people, because I feel like sometimes some people are more real estate influencers more than actual agents.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Do you get what I'm saying? So how much is that just yapping, and how much is that them actually being a real estate agent?
I mean, I guess I don't really know that many
Mm-hmm.
in person
Mhm.
that are like kind of considered influencers. I
Mhm.
mean, oh my gosh, Amanda Bradford.
Okay.
She could be considered an influencer, but she's also like selling houses big time and she does a great job. So I mean,
I think I've heard her name before. Okay.
Yeah. So, but she's like the only example I can think of.
Okay.
Really. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like, I mean, again, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I feel like, how do you have all this time to sell homes and make content at the same time?
Oh my God.
Right.
So I've been so busy recently.
Uh-huh.
I haven't posted my last like 12 closings.
Mhm.
No, like I've just been, and honestly, I have a coach now.
Uh-huh.
His name is Brian Moses. Absolute savage.
Mm.
And he's kind of just like, why are you posting every time you sell a house?
Mm.
Like, they don't care. And I was like, dang, I guess you're right. Like,
Okay.
let me stop doing that. And make it more like client focused. So if I am to post my closings, now it's just going to be like about like what a good deal that they got and like how their story is changing now and like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, they were a first time home buyer, like this is such a huge step for them and like steps towards many other
Yeah.
things, or if it's an investment property, their first investment
Yeah.
property, or like whatever it is, like it's going to be about like the client, not about like got another one.
So okay,
You
so
know?
I see what you mean. It's not like it's bad posting that you close. It's how you go about delivering that you help somebody buy their home.
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
I see what you mean. All right, how do you go about that? Because you do like you said 12 closings, 12 closings.
Like recently.
Yeah,
since I've
12. So I mean,
posted,
that's a
yeah.
lot. That's a lot to post. Like, how do you make the time for all
I
these
don't.
things? Okay,
I don't.
is that
So-
something you want to do or?
I mean, because it used to be like my main way of receiving clients, I'm like, oh man, I should really like get back to doing that. And then I get a call. And like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's just been like nonstop lately. We're heading in the spring market. It's
Yeah.
just like,
So you're saying that you're kind of easing off on it, and then you just leverage it when kind of things slow down a little bit.
I guess
Okay.
if they slow down,
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like,
I mean,
don't know.
50 homes a year. You know what? I mean, what on that? Do you have like an average you try to sell a month or something like that?
Yeah. So before it was like,
Well, that's one a week if you're trying to sell 50 homes a year.
Oh, well,
yeah. Before it was like 2 to 5 a month.
Yeah.
And now, like in the last couple of months, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, dude! Like if I don't get like 8 under contract, I'm like, what am I doing?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm like,
Sheesh.
what have I been doing?
Okay.
Just slacking.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay,
I've been
so-
challenging myself.
Who are you working with?
Who am I working
Yeah.
Like my clients or like
Like,
my
are you like with a brokerage or something like that?
Crown
Okay.
Homes Real Estate.
Crown Homes. Okay,
Crown
right. That's right. That's right.
Homes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're so great. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I love them so much.
Troy has been on here before. Yeah, Troy,
That's
they
my
work on the
boy.
same one. Yeah.
He's an absolute savage. Like
Mhm.
he'll just be on the phones nonstop. I can't relate. Can't
Mhm.
relate. I respect it. If I needed to, I would do it, but I haven't needed to yet. So, I think it's awesome the way that he can just like call somebody up like
Yeah.
a cold call.
He told me
And he
like
can convert that.
yeah, he told me like he does like maybe like 100 or like 200 calls a day or something like that.
That is
That's crazy to me.
nuts to me.
Yeah.
Like I would never. I mean,
That's a
haven't
different
yet.
approach. The
It's
title
a
is different. Yeah.
completely different approach. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, it's all like referrals and like, oh, like friend to friend and social media you saw me or like, I've been big time getting referrals from past clients lately,
Mhm.
like friends of friends, family. It's just been like spider webbing, like big time, and that's been great.
What's the breakdown of what your business is? It 50-50 for buyers and sellers that you
Ooh,
or
it's like 80-20
for?
buyers, baby.
Okay.
I'm a buyer's agent through and through, and I kind of like it that way. I mean, I can do a great listing. I can sell a listing in a month. My best one, I went 75K over asking, waiving inspections, all the works, like 26 offers or something stupid. Like I can do that. But I honestly, I prefer being a buyer's agent, to
Okay.
be honest with you.
Okay. And you have a team with you now.
Yes.
You lead a team.
Yes, I do.
Tell me about this team. How many are in there?
There's 6 of them.
Okay.
And they're all special in their own way.
Mhm.
Like I've got Tina. She was my first team member. She's like really picking up lately. Oh my God, she's gonna be a monster. Disgusting. What? Tina. Remember the name Tina Choi. Mark my
Calling it
words.
now.
Mark my words. And like then who joined next? Nick, my cousin. Oh my God. So he was my admin for a little bit before because I was like, I'm so overwhelmed. Like honestly, I couldn't do anything without my transaction coordinator, Anne. She is my lifeblood at this point. So she's not technically part of the team. Like she just kind of does it as like a third party. So any real estate agents out there that need a transaction coordinator and new, hit me up. Hit me up, dude. I'll give you her number. She's fantastic.
Okay.
So there's her. I have Tina. I have Nick. He was my admin briefly. He like saw like how I was doing things and he like helped me get some of my stuff together. He made me some Excel sheets, He's very organized, like almost the exact opposite of me, but like in the good ways.
Yeah.
So, he's got his strategy going and he also has a landscaping business. I don't know.
There you go.
So there's that. And then after that, Jasmine joined. She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. You know Jasmine.
I do.
Yeah,
We had a
dude,
business class together at Del Tech. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, looks alone, she's gonna kill. So I'm like,
Yeah.
And then who joined after that? Jada, friend of Tina.
Okay.
So bubbly personality, like right on par. It's she's
Mhm.
about to have $1 million listing appointment.
Oh snap.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sunday. Her and I are going. What the heck is that? I don't even know. So we had that going, and then after that, Myron joined, and Myron has been in the business for like 3 years, kind of in and out, part time. He's got 4 kids, he's got his thing going. But he saw me make my team, and he came to me.
Yeah.
So all of these people they came to me. Like
Yeah.
I didn't like go and like seek them out. Like Tina was like, "Hey, can you like mentor me?" And that was the whole reason that the team started. And honestly, the whole reason I left KW. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I should breathe.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So started a team, joined Crown. That was November 2024. Okay. And things have just kind of been like exponential
Yeah.
since then. Cause
I was about to say, because from everything I've heard, it sounds like you've been doing this like forever.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm curious about. When I asked you about what makes you capable to sell 50 a year when the average is like 6, now you're shifting into almost like a leadership position. And you said you don't even know exactly what it is, just the way I am, right? But how do you translate that into the people that you're leading now?
So hard.
I want to know how it is that you go about.
Well, okay, wait. Calls. I forgot about Josh. I didn't forget. We were getting there and I talked too much. But Josh, he was my most recent addition. And he has been in the business for 2 years. He was like more in like an admin position, like part-time, like realtor, but now he's full-time. You guys just met him. He's great.
Cool
He's
guy.
great.
Yeah, I've
Now,
seen
now
him
we're
around.
attached at the hip, and
There you go.
so he is shadowing me, and that's kind of my strategy with him specifically because he doesn't have another job. You know, so I'm just gonna be like, just be with me and do the things that I do, and you got it.
Okay.
Do these things because I can't even put it into words how I'm successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But like, I want to know. Like, here's the thing. It just sounds like everything's coming natural, right? But like you saying to the hip, right? You know, when I did, the only example I could think of is because how I met Arthur is through a country club, so through serving, right? When I finally started serving, was that when you train people, they shadow you, but then you're actually teaching them. Okay, now you step in here and follow this kind of like routine or formula that I usually go by. You know, like for example, in serving, our thing in serving was like there's always something you could be doing. Like whether it be polishing silverware, pouring empty glasses of water, like what does that look like for you? Because if they just shadow you, there's only one Grace. So how do they become like Grace like 2.0 or like something like that? What
That's
is
so
it? What
trying.
is it?
Tina's getting there. She's picking it up,
Uh-huh.
whatever it is. Maybe you should ask her. Because basically, we have once a week team meetings. Okay. We have a group chat.
Yeah.
Where I pretty much give them like daily motivation. Like, what did you do that was real estate related today? You know, because some of them have kids, they have other full time jobs. So I don't want them, like, all of them have the goal of real estate being their full time job, owning homes, like being just like me.
That's awesome.
Like that's what they want, and I want that for them.
Yeah.
So I'm actually trying to integrate myself into like every part of their life if they let me. You know? Like I kind of like asked them all, like as they were like wanting to join the team, I'm like, how much of me do you want? Because like I can get in there and like honestly be probably annoying. Or, you know, I gotta be more laid back and say, hey, I'll see you at the once a week meeting, text you in the group chat every now and then, and I'll give you like the weekly homework assignment. And, you know, hopefully you do that.
Okay.
But maybe if you don't, like, you know, whatever. Or I'll be like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
every day. So multiple times.
So
a
you
day.
set expectations up front.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And I
okay.
kind of ask them like how much they want.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it's a little bit scaled. It's different, like for each person.
Right, of
that I
course,
have.
of course.
Like, I'm pretty intense on Tina.
Okay.
Tina specifically.
Is it because she's like the closest one to get in there? It's like
She's right there.
well,
No.
they say that the key to scaling anything is when it comes to processes is documenting, demonstrating, and then duplicating. So is that what you're trying to do with like Tina? Like they have figure out fully Grace, so then she can build the next Grace, or like for a lack of a better term.
She's Grace 2.0. Dude.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait.
You said that you assign him like weekly homework. Well, what does that look like?
So basically, like I told you, I have a coach.
Uh-huh.
And he has videos that are educational. So I have them watch at least 2 videos each week. And then the goal at first, you know, when they were first starting out, it was like, okay, call 15 members of your sphere of influence. And don't even say you're a realtor. Just be like, hey, like, how you been? Like, it's been too long. Yeah, I think it was around New Year's, and I was like, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Like, I just wanted to check in. Like, how are you? How's the kids? Kind of just build rapport, check in on your family, friends, and, you know, it's not like a bad thing to do. It's like, say what's up. And if it happens to come up that you're a real estate agent, great. Great. Now they know.
Is that how you
know?
check that off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is it just
So-
a connection?
Just a connection.
Okay.
Like, I just want them to make regular connection with the people in their lives. You know, like, hey, remind them that you just like exist. And
What does that look like in terms of like from start to end? Do they build those connections to you and then you close them, or do they close them?
they close them. So,
Okay.
well, actually, they didn't know. They are learning and almost fully know what the buyer consultation looks like now, right? So, like, if somebody does want to buy, like, if they, you know, happen to be talking to somebody in there, like, oh my God, I actually do want to buy. It's funny you said you're a realtor. Like, you know, then they schedule an appointment. Ideally, I'm able to be there. And we have, like, I have a sheet that's like benefits of buying with Team Casella, and you know, I've kind of one of the homework assignments was for them to like learn that and internalize it. And then at one of the meetings, I like tested them on what they actually know. Like, can they articulate the benefits that we provide as a team? You know, like what sets us apart?
Yeah.
That's this whole industry is you have to set yourself apart. Like, what are you doing for me? That is what the clients want to know. So you just have to be like, I am better because of X. Like, I'm going to save you money here because I have these experiences. And I'm going to help you look at real estate as an investment because I have this investment background, because I have investment properties, you know, like, and I'm going to give a shit. Like, right? Like, our business is completely referral based. We're not advertising. We're not like paying for referrals, nothing like that. Like, it's all, does my client have a good experience and do they want to tell their friends and family about it? Yes, no. That's how I get my clients. I have 107 5-star reviews on Google.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was random, but you know, so that is like that what I'm trying to teach them. And each client that they have, I'm like, hey, you know, try to get a Google review. Don't push it too much. Like, I'm not like too like extra about it. I'm just kind of like, hey, if you had a good experience.
Yeah. And is that something that, where did
It's
you
like-
learn that? Is that something you learned from shadowing your dad? Is that something you learned through school? Because it's one thing you doing it yourself and being in the field. It's another thing like working on the business and seeing the processes that allow you to teach these people that come in. So like you're saying homework and then you test them and then you do this, that, and the other. Did that just come to you?
Combo
Jeez.
of like so many
Okay.
different things. I
Yeah.
mean, I was like, because they wanted to join the team, I was like, okay, well now I got to come up with a way to teach them. So I literally was just
Yeah.
like, all right, once a week, what works? What day works for all of you? Let's make it work.
Yeah.
So we meet 6 p.m. every Tuesday, my house, because my house is like the middle ground of like where everybody lives.
So in person, not even virtually.
Oh no.
Okay.
And if they want to meet on Zoom, I'm like, what do you want to be poor? Like,
Wow.
I'm like, no, dude. Like,
Yeah,
we're
that's
taking
David
this
Goggins.
serious.
Like, that's
we're
David
taking-
Goggins energy.
Oh, like no, like I want to be able to hold your hand. All right,
Okay.
like so that's. I mean, because I just feel like if it's on Zoom, like you're not fully paying attention. You know.
Okay, I hear you. I
So
hear you.
I want them to be like dialed in fully.
Okay.
And it's honestly like 2 to 3 hours of just like me teaching them something, us talking about what's going on. The beginning is like a catch up, like where are you at with your clients? Are you actually writing this down somewhere? Like, are you using the CRM system? If you don't like the CRM system, are you using at least an Excel sheet? God forbid, if you're not at least using that, are they in your notes in your phone?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, just trying to, I'm like, here's the bare minimum, okay? Can you do more? Hopefully. But, you know, at the end of the day.
So when they show up to you for your weekly meetings, do they have to have something prepared for you ahead of time to report to you or something like that?
I hope that they're prepping for it. I mean, because every time they know, I'm going to go, hey, Jada, check in. What's going on?
Yeah.
Who are your clients right now?
Yeah.
Do you have them written down somewhere? Like, you know, I want them to be able to rattle off who they have like actively looking, like if they have appointments scheduled, like who they're nurturing, like what's going on. I want to
This is the closest thing that I've heard close to the Selling Sunset show, where they actually have like their team meetings and you know the Selling Sunset show on Netflix.
People always talk about it when they hear that I'm a real estate agent. They're like, oh, have you seen Selling Sunset?
Yeah.
Never seen it. Never seen an
Well,
episode.
here's the thing, right? It's at least in my point of view, they do everything in that show to sell real estate. I swear, 'cause it's just like glamorous lifestyle and everything.
It's not
Well,
a reality show. Like they're trying to specifically point out things. Reality TV is not reality TV. It's not really.
well,
what
yeah,
happens.
yeah, but it's like it gives you such a unrealistic view of what real estate looks like, and I think when people walk in there, you gotta be, you know, driving the Porsche, what is it, the Cayenne or something like that, like the SUV Porsche, and you're gonna be showing up and the what's it called, the red bottoms and tight dress to showings. It's not like that at all, is it?
I drive a Subaru Impreza with a dent in it, and it has a cracked windshield.
There you go.
You know, out of
Close enough.
sheer laziness. I showed up to a showing 2 nights ago in a Snuggie.
Okay.
So, you know, like I get pretty close with my clients, and I try to tell them up front. I'm like, hey, at this buyer consultation, this might be the best you ever see me look. Like, I almost prep them for that. Because sometimes showings are like impromptu, they're random.
Yeah.
Like a house will pop up on the market, they get like an hour of free time, and you're like, you know, from wherever you're at, you just kind of have to be like, well, this is me.
Yeah.
You know?
I can imagine that just sounds exhausting. Like constantly having to be on your toes the entire time, and like you're in the middle, probably like having coffee or like having lunch. All of a sudden, you got
Watching
to
a
speed it
movie,
out
you're
a
just trying to
movie.
chill for a second after
Oh
like a
my
long
jeez.
day, and they're
Okay.
like, "I need to see this house right now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well,
So
all right."
here's the other thing I want to know. Like, what are some key, like if you had to give somebody like say 3 points of being a 50-a-year agent versus a 6-year house agent, like six houses a year agent, what would those 3 points be?
Okay, you're gonna work hard and often.
Hmm.
Basically, prepare to be working from when you are awake to when you are asleep.
Hmm.
Okay?
Mhm.
Prioritize your clients. Like, answer their calls, answer their texts. If you don't get back to them immediately, tell them why you didn't get back to them immediately. Don't just respond like several hours later, like casually. No, be like, hey, I'm so sorry I was in a meeting, or so sorry I was on a podcast. Like, hey, I'm back now. What is it? I got you.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then
Expect to work all the time.
yeah.
Always keep in touch.
Yeah.
And what would be the third one?
Oof. No, because I don't do that. I was gonna say stay organized. But yeah, right. Dang. I don't know. It's basically just hard work. Oh, be really nice.
Okay.
I kill people with kindness. Even like the meanest listing agent, I'll just be like, "You're right. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do
Oh,
better
that probably
next
sets
time."
them off.
Oh, dude. Oh my god, no. I kill everybody with kindness.
Yeah.
I'm like nothing but nice. Like, treat everybody how you want to be treated. Like, that is like, I don't know. And I'm genuine about it. Like, I
Okay.
don't like, because I want them to treat me good.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be nice.
Yeah.
'Cause that's just kind of the way it works.
So is real estate ultimately just a personality? And it's not, I'm not saying just to minimize it, but it's really just the personality.
For me, at least.
Okay.
For like somebody like Troy, it's like,
Volume.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's interesting. There's so many different angles to it. Arthur, I mean, is there anything particular you want to know about how she operates her business?
Well, I'm a little curious. You said you started in 2021?
Yeah.
Okay. So your entire history of selling real estate has always been in a seller's market.
Indeed.
So what's your thought? Anything to prepare for in case that market changes? Is that going to change anything that you're doing? I mean, possibly not, since you're on the buyer side in the seller's market.
baby.
So you're already on the uphill side of this equation. And when it flips to be a buyer's market and you're the buyer's agent, like,
I can't wait to dominate. Are you kidding me? Like, oh my gosh, I wish it would shift to a buyer's market. Like, then I could actually, my buyers would have more selection. I'd be able to get them great deals every time. Like, oh my God, I love it when a house like over appraises. You know, that's happened a couple of times. $40,000. I got one of my clients, it overappraised. So $40,000 instant equity. Wow,
Yeah.
sick deal. That's when the houses sit on the market for a long time, though, that you can get those deals, that you can get full inspections, and you can get credits, and you can get them to do repairs. You can go in under asking, you get seller's assistance. Like, I love those deals because then the buyer is just like, oh
Yeah.
man, this
It makes
is
the
great.
sell
Like,
probably even easier.
I didn't have to spend $40,000 out of pocket just to buy a house. No, I've helped buyers buy homes with less than $2,000 out of pocket. So that's what that would be.
Yeah.
You know, buyer's market, they don't have to spend all their money.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
but I wonder if it's going to make it more complicated because the inventory is going to increase. And right now you have limited inventory. So it's like, we don't have a whole lot to choose from. So you got to work with what you got. But now all of a sudden I have 40 houses for it to show each client.
Yeah.
Is that going to really cause a problem when you have too much?
I guess it would take probably longer. Wait, or would it take shorter? I don't know. Because a lot of times, like with some clients, it takes long because we simply don't have selection. And then with others, like, they just...
Well, my neighbors had too many choices when they went buying, and they said, we saw 50 houses. And it was like, it took us forever. It was like, oh, I think we like the third house the best, but 14 was pretty good. Like, it's... like saw too much and then it got to be really confusing.
Yeah, fair enough. When I'm doing more than 5 showings with a client in one day, I have them bring like a notebook and then like write down the pros and cons of the house, like with the address and everything. So I like would hope that something like that would help, like a structure like that. I mean, I've shown up to 14 houses to one client in one day. and he was able to tell me like his top 3, and we ended up putting an offer in on the best one, and we got it. So like, I don't know. I think I'll be able to make it work. I think I will. I'm not super worried about it. But I hear what you're saying. Like, it might take longer because they have too many options. But I'm having a bit of the opposite problem right now, where it takes a long time because
You can't
they
find them.
can't find anything. So for some buyers, it'll be better for sure. Yeah, it'll happen faster.
And now that you're coming into this 4-year, 5-year range for selling houses, are you getting these clients coming back to you saying, all right, it's time to list the house you sold me and I want to upgrade to a bigger house? And now you're getting 2 sales out of one client?
It's happened. It has, like, a couple of times. So it's starting. But I mean, honestly, if my clients are happy in their house, that's great. Whatever. Like, I can see it happening in the future. So being like a predominantly like first time home buyer agent, I'm making the sacrifices now. Like, I'm helping the people that only have $2,000 to their name and like are FHA and need seller's assistance and like, like those, I'll help them. I mean, and karma, good karma. It pays off, pays off every time. So I'll help anybody.
Question: how does one prepare themselves for you? Like, in terms of like, all right, I think I have a little bit of cash in my wallet. Maybe considering buying a home. At what point, how does one prepare to approach you about this, about potentially buying?
So I don't even want people to prepare at all. I want them to come to me as soon as they think that they might want to buy a house at all in the future, years from now, whatever it is. I want them to come to me so that I can connect them with a lender so that they can make sure that their credit, that their income is what it's supposed to be, like all of those things, because some of that can take months, years to get right. So I hate it when people are like, oh, they're saving their money and they think they're getting ready, and then they come to me and they're like, I want to buy a house right now. We go to the lender and the lender's like, oh, well, the way you've been being paid doesn't work, and now we have to wait 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, until they can actually qualify for a mortgage. And I'm like, I wish you would have come to me sooner. So no, don't prepare at all.
Okay.
Hit me up right now.
So essentially, if you're at any point considering buying a home, just approach you.
Yes, if you're 3 years old.
Which is even better because it makes it a more personal relationship, right? Because it's clearly not just a transaction. There's an educational aspect to it. Like, you're literally holding their hand all the way to they get to hold the key.
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
Big time.
Okay. Interesting. Arthur, anything else on your? A quick question. This is something I've been hearing a lot recently. Not recently, but in the past year. About what are you guys' thoughts on like these big investment firms buying out all these freaking houses at once and all that crap? Thoughts on this? Have you guys been hearing about this?
Yeah.
Like, is it BlackRock? Is it BlackRock? Oh, you have. Okay, so can you say anything? Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble with BlackRock.
I was there for like 3 weeks. I think I can say some stuff. Yeah.
Going on before you even ask it, going on a tangent. I think that BlackRock was trying to get involved in buying the canal, the whole situation that was happening down south.
The Panama Canal?
Yeah, the Panama Canal. I think they were trying to get involved in buying it. I think they ultimately decided they're not going to let BlackRock have more power than they already do. But thoughts on that?
That's crazy.
Thoughts on them buying up all these houses?
It's like, I get it. I mean, like, I want to buy houses too, but like not all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of mean because it drives up prices and makes it super difficult for like an average person like me or you to buy a house. And it sucks. I'm a predominantly a buyer's agent, so I hate it. If I were a listing agent, I'd be like, heck yeah, layup, like bring me to BlackRock. No, but I'm a buyer's agent, so I just see the negative effect that it has on them.
Okay, you?
It's working for them at the moment, but I don't know if it's going to be a long-term
play. I hear that there's been times where they have been willing, knowing that they're overpaying a crap ton for these houses just for the sake to have them. And even at some point, I think there's so many different examples of it, but at one point they bought a ton of them overpriced, and then they just end up selling it at a loss. Like, I don't get the whole intention of it.
I can't tell you what their philosophy is on that, but I mean, at the end of the day, when this turns out not to be lucrative for them, and at some point the market has to switch. Right now, when it's the prices keep going up. It's hard to say, oh no, this isn't working, because even if I overpay by $10,000, give it a few months and now it's break even, and give it a few more months and it's up $10,000.
Yeah.
Like the money's coming in too quickly for it. So
Yeah.
when the tides change and it becomes a buyer's market, it may not make sense for them, and all of a sudden all these assets they have are going to be overvalued. But then the other part is homes require maintenance.
Yeah.
So if they're buying houses that are 60 years old, are they really prepared to pour tens of thousands of dollars into them over time to maintain them? Or is that when they say, nope, it's time, let's go ahead and sell and get rid of it before it starts to become a drain on us?
Then the other thing I keep seeing often is the average home now, like from what you know, do you know like what the average home now is going for, like for now, like 3.2, like the average 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, like, and what I heard is that they substantially have gone up
Yes.
from like a couple years ago. What are some contributing factors to that? Is that something you pay attention to?
Supply and demand.
Is that really just all that it comes down
bro.
to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like everybody. I mean, a 3-bed, 2-bath. You're talking about something everybody wants.
Yeah. I hear memes of like people they'll do like it'll be like someone's interested in buying. They're like, hey, I think I have enough money now. I think I have like $30,000-$40,000. I'm thinking I'm ready to buy a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, or a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and then the real estate agent just starts cracking up over the
Laughing
phone,
off the phone.
and then hangs up. It's like, why is it like because okay, is it really because I think it's just stabilizing now from how crazy the market was in 2020 to now? Is that really what it is? Is it just flattening out?
There's several factors. People are living longer.
Okay.
People are staying in their houses longer.
Okay.
Interest rates were so low in 2020 that like nobody wants to sell. Now everybody's a landlord, right? So like anybody that wants to buy their next house, they're like, oh, I'm keeping that other one at the 2 or 3% interest rate. No shot. So supply is just, if anything, going down. And where's demand? Population's growing, like more people are entering the job market, people are living longer. That's such a good point. Like I mean, and there's only so much dirt. There's only so much dirt out there, right?
True.
So,
even in this neighborhood, when I moved in 3 years ago, I think now, right? 3 years ago, there was like not half of the houses that were closer to the firehouse up down the street. Now they've built all around that. Now it's like, where are they going to build now? But do you invest in real estate at all?
yes.
Okay. Tell me about that angle about you a little bit. Like what's your philosophy, for lack of a better term, on real estate investing?
If I see a scenario where like I can benefit and the seller can benefit and they don't really want to go to market,
that's the thing too, is you could handle the whole transaction, right?
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's awesome.
So I'm saving them 6-7%, whatever the agent would charge typically. And I'm just paying them what they would have gotten on the market minus 6 or 7%. And there we go. Like I get a good deal, they get a good deal. Everybody wins. So, I mean, I only had that scenario come up a few times. I've done like one flip in my neighborhood, and it's just because I knew the people, right? And they didn't want to go on the market, so they were just like, "Can you just?" And I was like, "Can I? I don't know. Let me check. Like, let me see what I've got going on."
Are you a buy and hold? I mean, I know you say you did a flip. Are you more buy and hold or flip, or are you just like, if the numbers check, the numbers check?
Now I'm a buy and hold.
Okay.
Yes, because I see the long-term investment in real estate. I mean, and hopefully, like, over time I can, regardless of what happens, the ebbs and flows, like I can still afford, But yeah, I have like 2 rentals, not a big deal.
No, that's awesome, though. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome. Quick question. I feel like people feel like the American dream is more expensive than ever now. It almost feels like unrealistic to touch. My younger friends, or my age, they say that, I'm never going to be able to get a home now because of how expensive. I hear this a lot with like my younger crowd. And like, what do you say to them?
They don't realize actually how affordable it can be if you make it work.
Okay.
If they really want to be a homeowner instead of renting for the rest of their life, then there's if they want it to be affordable, there's compromises, right? And I can explain that either way. Like, I'm like, hey, like, you can rent, and maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down, who knows? Seems like it's going up for now. Or you can kind of lock in a mortgage payment, right? Obviously, it's going to go up with homeowners insurance and property taxes and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's more locked in than the rental rate, right? So you can get that. You can start building equity. But if you want it to still be affordable, there's compromises that need to be made. Maybe you have 2 bathrooms right now. Might need to go to 1 if you want it to be affordable. But you're just getting your foot in the door. First time home buyer.
Right.
Like I said, I can help people get a house for less than $2,000 out of pocket. Like, as long as your credit's like okay.
That's a great hook. I mean, that's a great like opening. $2,000, we can figure something out. Like,
$2,000.
Yeah.
Like, I got like I mean,
that's awesome.
so
Okay,
$2,000, okay credit, consistent income.
Tell
we
me,
can figure something out.
tell me what does the
A
future?
trailer?
Maybe.
Okay.
What does the future of Grace look like in terms of real estate? What do you have anything you're setting out to do? Are you trying to beat Shane?
No, Shane's awesome. Shane's awesome. I want to work side by side with Shane. I want to grow the team. I want to like integrate myself into their lives enough and improve their lives in every way that I possibly can. You know, so that they thrive and succeed, and like I care about these people like way too much now, and I want them to succeed. So that's like right now the goal that I'm focused on is them being successful and like being good realtors and caring about their clients just like me. Like, I want to make like more of me. I think I'm pretty cool. Basically, if I can make a couple more of me, I think that'd be like a great way to go about it. I mean, if I can eventually work my way to working slightly less, that would be nice.
That's always
Yes.
that's always the, I guess, the goal with entrepreneurship, right? It's like, you know, you're gonna be putting in those long ass hours, but you hope that eventually in the future you could let the foot loose a little bit, you know?
Yeah, you know, like maybe give it to the team, or like, you know, just step back a little bit, you know, allow myself to like hang out with friends and
Right,
stuff.
more leadership, just making sure everything's flowing as it should. You know, in 2025 now, people feel like just living in general has become more expensive, and so people are resorting to side hustles and everything to make ends meet. If someone was considering going in 2025 becoming a real estate agent, knowing what you know, what would you say?
Don't do it.
No, I would say it's a listen, like you gotta be ready to lock in, right? Like, if you're gonna be a part-time real estate agent, you're not gonna sleep, bro. Like, if you actually want to be successful at it, do a full-time job and do this well, sleep, kiss it goodbye. Kiss it goodbye. I hope that your job is a night job and then you're just working throughout the entire day. If you want to be successful. Now, if you want to be a, you know, less than 6 houses a year agent, and you're cool with that, you know, that's one way to do it. That'll cover the fees. That'll cover the fees, and then, you know, maybe you'll get a little bit, but you, man.
If that person,
go full time.
if the person out there is willing to go full in with you, you know, where can they find you?
Where can they find me?
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram. You can Google me.
Okay.
Grace Casella Realtor. 107 reviews right now.
All right.
My phone number's everywhere. 302-607-1508. I mean, I don't care. Like, hit me up.
How many reviews again?
107.
Boom. All right, Arthur, before we close out, do you have anything else?
I don't think so. I mean,
Grace, thank you so much. I know we're way past your bedtime.
I know, I'm so tired.
So I'm so sorry, but thank you so much. I hope that people see this and are able to. They'll feel the energy through the camera. I'm sure. I'm sure you're gonna make the trailers for this episode is gonna be so epic. It's gonna be so cool, and I'm excited. Let's do this again sometime. Let's do this again. Yeah. Grace, thank you so much. Until next time. And if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on the notification bell. Check out Grace. Check us out more, so we can have more of Grace around here. And eppodcast.us for merch if you'd like to support us. And until then, bye-bye.